Hi, this is Nancy Joy, and this is Reflections. I'm back home here in Iowa. You can probably tell by the setting. Fantastic shift and wonderful things happened in Florida, and they've come home with me because they're continuing. I want to share with you today, I want to talk a little bit really positively about such exciting things, but I want to also talk about pain and suffering because there are so many of you I hear from. Some of you with physical, really distressing physical things going on. Some of you financially just feeling so strapped and stuck, and emotionally, the depression, what have you. And yet, there's such an intensely wonderful vibration out there. So here's the quote I want to start with. I'm liking Mike Dooley these days. He writes messages from the universe. And he's written a great book called The 10 Most Important Things Dead People Want You to Know. It's a great book. It's as good as The Afterlife of Billy Finger. Both great books to help you get a true perspective on the hard, difficult things in this life and how really great they are in another sense. So here's this quote. You are an ancient gladiator of joy whose chose the jungles of space and time with your superhero friends to experience with shape-shifting, mind-bending, and planetary transformation. Fun, huh? He goes on to say, any twinges of self-doubt are just to keep you grounded enough to refrain from laughing at the things others might find terrifying. That may be a little bit harsh, but I am really getting this on such a cellular level. As you gathered from my last several reflections, I'm swimming in an extraordinarily wonderful space recently. And even going back, say, 2-3 months ago, morning sometime was difficult for me, right as I would be waking up. Things that my ego, my mind wanted me to be concerned about, that would be the first thing there. And I know how to work that, so I knew how to shift that. And yet it was still, coming into my presence, the first thing in my consciousness on some mornings, not of course every morning. But now, since I have shifted, this grid has shifted, the bliss is palpable, the veils are thinning, I'm not getting any more of that. Everything that seems difficult is exciting almost. Okay, you heard we had water in our basement. We have a lot to clean up. We haven't yet tackled it, but we're about to. But one hand, we're not in a big rush. And the other hand, it's okay. We realize we're cleaning out our old stuff. This is not a tragedy. Now, of course, some of you are going through way worse things than a little water in your basement and a little and stuff like that. And that brings me to, I have a very, very dear friend, Sue. And Sue, wait a second here, and Sue has been on and off in her life challenged with many, many physical issues and problems over and over again, but she goes through some really difficult bad ones where she ends up in the hospital. And behind all the things going wrong is tremendous physical pain, the kind you scream, it hurts so bad. And as you love someone and you watch them go through this, I think we all get caught up in, I certainly feel empathy. I don't ever pray for the healing. I pray for them to come into just the space they need to, and I hold that space of love for that to happen. But nevertheless, it's very difficult. And at times I'm angry, and you just can't help but say why. And certainly she would often say, why does this continue? And okay, all the good things, you're not victims, you chose everything, you take responsibility. Well, it's one thing to know that, it's another thing to live that. And yet that's exactly the energy of what's going on. We can't stay divided in between knowing something and not being able to truly live it. This is the time that it truly is coming together. So she recently went through a very bad thing and just came out of the hospital one more time. Now, where I'm going with this, in the law of attraction, they teach you right off the bat how to energize your new reality, what you really desire, your dreams. And you never ask how. You just begin to feel they're already there. You're living them in your imagination. The emotion is right there. And you never ask how. Rule number one, don't ask how. That universe, that'll hold you up. That'll hold the universe up because it takes away the leeway, the spontaneity, the synchronicity that the universe works with on these things. So where I came to recently, actually in just the last day or two, with my friend in pain and all of you who contact me and who I work with, there was a time from 1987, maybe all the way up to 2012, and certainly a lot of my workshops and things like that I used to do were based on diving in, feeling your feelings, understanding them, which is still a good idea, and using them constructively. But to do that, we often did a lot of past life or this life or your childhood or the trauma that happened. And I think that became another, it was good at the time, it was new. Our parents didn't know how to do this and we were doing it. We were changing things. But now we're those who are still gravitating in that loop. It's really kind of stuck in it, looking at, well, what did I do wrong? What aren't I getting? You know, with Sue's pain, well, she's a little overweight, so people want to right away say, well, if you'd only lose weight, you wouldn't be in pain. Well, it's kind of almost ridiculous that you're telling her why she's suffering such pain. That's like telling the universe how to create your dreams. And this takes a great amount of faith, and that's why I chose this quote today, because it's so exciting. But if you're constantly in the habit of looking at why you are having a difficult time, why you don't have money, why you don't have health, you keep regenerating it. Your thoughts are creating it, and they continue to create it. So, it's like, how do you stop it? How do you stop the thought? Well, you can stop it by trying to remember that the why isn't important. And there's a wonderful lady named Byron Katie who wrote many books, but one of her books was called 1,000 Names for Joy. And she is a lady that came out of great suffering, depression, and pain in her lifetime. And while institutionalized, she had a download. She had an epiphany, and everything changed. And she writes a lot of books on how this can change for you too. And she said, when I came to see that my suffering wasn't a result of not having control, it was the result of arguing with reality. It simply is. It simply is. Her issues simply were. And as soon as she could go there and be there, not trying to figure out why in the past and not trying to cure it instantly with a new mantra, but to totally be present. It's there for a reason, and it's to totally be present. So when I went to visit Sue after I was away, right, but a lot of the time I was away, she was hospitalized again in tremendous pain. So as we were talking together and being together, we both started laughing because it is in a way, you would say the situation's funny, but the result of how absolutely wrapped up we get in a process. And as soon as we get wrapped up in a process, we're not in the moment where things can change, where you accept that you created where you are, but you let go of the why. So that's why today I want to invite all of you who are suffering in any way, physical or emotional or financial, in any way that you may be suffering. I invite you right now to do this one little thing, because it is hard to change your mind from the whys. But every time you want to know why, and you're angry at the universe or God or whoever for your situation, even though you know better, but still your emotions, right? I invite you, my favorite, you have heart chakras right here in the palms of your hand. Just take a moment and feel them. It's exquisite. It's very, very sensual and very blissful feeling. And they're directly connected to your heart. So then you crisscross your palms over your high heart, I don't care where you feel your high heart. It's not your physical heart. It's your high heart. Cross your hands over there. You'll feel the space. And take a deep breath. And begin to know this so well you don't have to read it. Begin this mantra. I am an ancient gladiator of joy who chose the jungles of time and space with my superhero friends to experiment and shapeshift, mind-bending and planetary transformations. Any twinges of self-doubt are just to keep me grounded, to refrain from laughing at the things others might find terrifying. And just keep breathing that in. You will be lifted immediately, and it will take you back to, okay, right now I have no money, maybe I can't pay my bills. I have food, I have a roof over my head, and you go into all the gratitude of all the things you do have, and you just stay centered in that space. You are an ancient gladiator of joy. Doesn't mean don't feel your feelings. It means feel them, shift them, and bring them into alignment with something like this, something that will work for you. So do remember, no matter what situation you're in, if it's uncomfortable, yes, you created it, but you have a choice. You can choose to suffer because you created something uncomfortable, or you can choose to own the reality of it, and in that way, it will shift. You will step into your gladiatorship, so to speak. So have a wonderful week. Hope this helps you as you start out 2015. Catch the magic. There are amazing things afoot. Take care of who you are. Please, please consider Egypt. We just need a couple more people. It's so exciting. I can work with you on it to make payments and in other ways. So please contact me if you're interested. Sedona at the end of April, and the Spirit of Alaska cruise in June. Hope to see some of you with me there. Bye-bye.